Hello everyone, I'm Jay and welcome to my channel AskJai. So you have prepared a CV, now you want to apply for the jobs or you've been applying at the wrong places. I speak to lots of people, they only know one or two websites and they're applying or they've been applying with the recruitment agents. If you are an international student who will need a sponsorship visa at some point, the chances are highly unlikely a recruitment agent will find a job for you. Like, I spoke to a number of recruitment agents, number of recruitment companies, and they say the same thing. If you need a sponsorship visa at some point, an employer is not willing to give you a job through a recruitment agency. You are better off applying direct with the employer than the recruitment agency, right? And I see this a lot, right? Really a lot, right? I'll give you maths behind what I said, right? So let's say a company is hiring for a IT support role, right? IT support engineer. They are paying 30,000 pounds a year for the IT support engineer role. So let's say they have given it to a recruitment agency to find somebody for right candidate for them. So what happens is recruitment agencies usually charge anywhere between 20 to 30% of the salary as their recruitment fee. So it could be anywhere between 6 to 9,000, right? So let's say 7,500 pounds, yeah. So 7,500 pounds to hire somebody, and then if that somebody needs a sponsorship visa at some point, then that's another 7,000 to 8,000 pounds on top, right? Based on, depending on whether the company has the license or not. If they don't have the license, it's much more costlier. If they have the license, then that's the cost you're looking at. So all of a sudden you're looking at 15,000 pounds to hire somebody, which is 50% of their salary. That's a lot of money, ridiculous amount of money. And not to mention, number of companies don't have the sponsorship license, or they have no idea how to get one, or some companies think it's too expensive process, admin overhead is too much to go through the process, right? So a number of things. So that's the reason they try, if they're going for the recruitment agency, you are highly unlikely to get a job through recruitment agency. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are cases where some of the people have got the jobs, but that's why I'm saying highly unlikely, right? So what's the approach here? What's the approach? What I suggest is you apply the jobs direct with the employers, right? So what I mean is apply for the jobs that are posted directly by the companies rather than recruitment agencies. It's easy to identify. For example, if you go on to indeed.com, you do a job search, let's say IT support engineer, and then there is a filter on the search results which says advertised by employers only or advertised by a staffing agency. So if you select employers only, then that's where you will see all the direct employer posted jobs, and your chances are much higher applying for them to get an interview or get in front of the hiring manager. So that's what I would do. And there are a number of things in S1 jobs. It's a similar, there is a setting, and there is a LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn, there is no direct filter about employers and recruitment, but if you're reading the job description, usually first or second paragraph, it tells you, oh, one of our client is recruiting, we are hiring for a global client, this is this, that. If they are talking about a third person terms, like one of our clients, if we're hiring for a global client, our client is looking for this, that, this is most probably a recruitment agency. And also sometimes name gives it away as well. So either it could be a talent solutions, it could be a search agency, it could be recruitment itself. A number of names. You can easily figure it out. If you see a recruitment agency advertise the job I would probably stay away from them. As I said, your chances are low getting a job through a recruitment agency, especially as an international student in the UK, especially somebody who needs a sponsorship visa in the future. If you are a dependent visa, then it's a much more likely, but that's what it is, right? So how do you go about applying? As I mentioned, there are a number of websites, number of filter settings and whatnot. One other thing is, there are direct employer posted jobs. That doesn't mean you have to go through every single company's website. It's not possible, right? So there are big job sites or big organizations like NHS. NHS has its own job board where you have to create a profile and log in and start applying. There is NHS Scotland, NHS England. They both are different. And then there is a find a job. Again, that's a government-based website where small companies usually advertise. You can easily again figure out. Many people don't even know that website exists. And there is My Job Scotland, where all the councils in Scotland post jobs there. And there is civil service jobs, again, only all these websites I'm talking about only employer posted. And finally, one golden suggestion from myself is Google Jobs. No one knows this. Google Jobs, right? So jobs.google.com. If you go on to, let's say you're looking for IT support engineer, and you go to Google Jobs, and then you put in double quotes IT support engineer and search, this will bring up search results from number of different places. One of them is Indeed, one of them is LinkedIn and all that. Apart from that, if you think about it, Google indexes pretty much most every single website out there on the internet, right? So if Google finds IT support engineer job in a company website, it will then show up on the search results, right? Now, rather than going to every single website, every single company's website, Google, you're getting Google to do the job for you, right? And then once you find the job link there, you click on the link and then you go apply, right? Easy. And many people don't know this, so you can apply that way as well. So the application process itself, you have to keep track of what applications you're making. So back in the day when I was this was 15 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. It's much more efficient these days. So when I was applying, I used to my routine was simple. I wake up, do what I need to do, and then once I have my breakfast and I sit down, this is around 8 o'clock in the morning, first couple of hours I am looking at all the new jobs posted since yesterday. So I would have my search query URL bookmarked, and then there would be like several bookmarks for different websites. I would just go there and click, and then that would bring up all the search results within the last 24 hours. And then I would see all the jobs that's been posted since my applications yesterday, and then I would apply to them, right? And then first couple of hours would be like that. And the next hour, what I used to do is I used to send the follow-up emails to the jobs I applied the day before. And then next thing I would do is just upskill myself and just research and see what else I could do to progress myself further, right? And I would make the phone calls as well. Sometimes I was so desperate and eager that I would apply for a job, an hour later I would phone them up. And the recruitment agency was like, dude, you only applied an hour ago, come on. So I was like that, but I at least that way I got a couple of interviews as well, right? In overall, I have been to 9 interviews before I landed my first IT job. And let me tell you something, when I landed my first IT job, I knew nothing about IT, and my English was so broken that I wouldn't even hire myself. So if I could get a job in the UK, I'm sure the people who are watching this video, you're much more smarter than me. You will get a job easy, man, easy, right? So my process was, at the time, I said to you the timelines, right? And then whenever I apply for a job, I would take a few minutes for each job, because it's not just a matter of finding a job and upload a CV and apply. I used to edit my CV. I used to update my CV for every single job I apply, to make sure my CV is in line with the job. And also, once I update the CV, I would create a copy of it and store it in a folder, and I would keep track of all the job applications and what CV I applied with. What happens is, when somebody calls me back for an interview, or for just to have an initial chat, I used to ask them, hey, I've been appreciate your call, but I've been applying for a few jobs lately, so I would really appreciate if you can tell me what the job reference number is, or what this job is, and and then they would tell me what the job is and which city and whatnot, and then I would quickly bring it up, and what CV I applied with. Since I have a copy, I would bring it up, and then now it's easier for me to discuss with them, right? I used to be in front of the laptop all the time. Yeah, man, I was so dedicated. Like, I was only working 2 shifts a week, 16 hours. That's it. Sometimes an extra shift of 4 hours, but that's about it. All the time I was just applying for the jobs and trying to progress myself. So yeah, keep track of all the jobs. I know it looks like a lot of work updating the CV and keeping track and everything, but if you want to succeed, yeah, well, you have to work hard. If it's easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So yeah, that's what it is, right? Apply and follow up, and LinkedIn is so much much more prominent these days. Build a profile on LinkedIn, build a network on LinkedIn, start connecting with people, and whatnot, right? So while you're applying, you must be reading lots of job descriptions. See what these job descriptions are asking for, what skills and what technologies and what experience and whatnot, so that you can at least upskill yourself. If they're asking for something you don't know, then you go on YouTube or Udemy or whatever you do. You try to get to know. Don't enroll into like long, lengthy courses. Nobody is expecting you to be perfect in everything. Just if you come across something you don't know, jump onto YouTube, watch few videos, get a good understanding of what it is, and then you should be able to talk about it for a couple of minutes. That's about it. You don't need to be like a heart surgeon, right? So that's how I would approach the applying for the jobs. Employer posted, stick with employer posted jobs. Stay away from recruitment agencies. Nothing against them, but as an international student, it's really challenging for recruitment agents to get your job, right? And what else? Just have a process, and follow the process, trust the process, follow the process, and the process will never fail you. Okay, right? All the best. Hit like and subscribe to my channel. I am planning to make more videos like this, and also join my group AskJai.com, where I usually do a weekly group mentoring sessions. Also, there will be an opportunity to book a free call with me for CV review and whatnot. So I hope that helps. All the best. See you around. Cheers.